everybody. Welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and tonight you're looking at another can. And I'm actually pretty excited about this one too, because I've read a lot about this beer. It's an Imperial Stout. It comes from Oskar Blues. They're out of Lyons, Colorado, and it's called their Fidy Imperial Stout. Kind of a funny story about the brewery. I won't go into too great of a detail just because I have limited time, but you know, apparently in the early days they wanted to can their craft beers, so they did a few of them at a time. You know, went out and tried to sell them in the stores. People laughed at them, thought, you know, there's no way people are going to come in and, you know, pay their money for a craft beer in a can. But actually, this was one of the first, actually it was the first craft brewery in the United States to can their beers. And they started with their Dale's Pale Ale, and then eventually, you know, started some other beers. And this is one of their, it's actually probably their biggest beer. It's the Fidy Imperial Stout, as I mentioned. This one comes in at 9.5%. I have heard that this beer gets a little bit heavier than that. So I don't know if this is just a batch thing, though I imagine that's probably what it is. But anyway, yeah, they were the first one to can their beers, and that was back in 2002. So we're talking about, you know, 8 years ago, so almost 8 years ago. And anyway, got this one from one of my viewers named John, who lives out in the Southern California area. Actually got some other beers from him, but this one was kind of thrown in as a little extra gift, I guess you could say. So really excited to try it. Thought I'd do it tonight. It's extremely cold here in Kansas City. I think even with the wind chill, it's, I don't know, maybe 15 below. But anyway, I thought it'd be a good night for an Imperial Stout. So let's go ahead and bust it and see what we got. And I'm kind of anxious to see what it looks like, because a lot of people talk about how dark and black it is. So let's see. Alright, well, sorry, don't want it to hit the coffee table. It is pretty black. It's not quite as black as I thought. As I was pouring it, I could kind of see through it, and there's like some, it's not even really a ruby colored exterior. It's kind of got like a brownish raisin color to it. So it's not, you know, engine oil black like I thought it might be, but it's pretty black. I can't see through it by any stretch of the imagination. The head color on this one is absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of like a chocolate ice cream. So, you know, if you're eating chocolate ice cream, you get down to the end where it kind of starts to melt, and you take your spoon and you mix it up and it gets kind of fluffy. That's exactly what this head looks like. And it's pretty tight in terms of small bubbles and, you know, viscosity, you know, obviously there. It's kind of gripping that glass pretty nicely, but I would say overall this is one of, man, I mean, I'm telling you, this is probably the best looking head I've ever seen on a beer. I mean, it really looks like chocolate ice cream, milk chocolate ice cream at that. So, well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut up now and put my nose in the glass and see what Mr. Fidy's got to offer up tonight. So really intrigued by the nose on this one, and I'll tell you why. It smells like a traditional Imperial Stout. You know, right up front, you get the chocolate, the coffee, the caramel malts, the chocolate malts. But what's kind of underneath all of that is, you know, kind of what you would imagine a really dark cave to smell like. And I mean that in the most pleasing way too. Now I know caves aren't known to smell good, but when you smell this one, you'll kind of see what I mean. And what's funny too is when I was doing a little bit of research on this beer, I noticed on their website they talk about malt balls and like whoppers. I guess I should be more clear. I can get the whoppers in there, and it's actually pretty nice. This has got a really nice floral component too, just right on the edges of the smell. I mean, you get all these things that are immediate to your nose, and then kind of on the outskirts of that is a a really nice kind of floral component. And when I say floral, it doesn't smell like flowers, but it's almost like it's kind of like the essence of vanilla, but not vanilla. And I don't know how else to explain it. Really, I think what I'm trying to go for is that Whopper smell that I was talking about earlier. But anyway, I'm dying to try it, so let's go ahead and taste it. That's good. That is really, really good. Now, I'm not going to lie. There's a good punch of alcohol. As soon as I took a drink, swallowed it, opened my mouth, I could kind of feel a cooling sensation inside my mouth. And I know that's from the alcohol kind of dissipating, but really just loads of flavor here. Lots of chocolate. In fact, the chocolate on the palate is more like a bittersweet chocolate. So where Whoppers may have more of a milk chocolate essence, this really has more of a dark chocolate essence on the teeth. And this is another one of those beers that it just coats the inside of your mouth right now, and I'm not going to show you because it's probably kind of gross, but right around my lips I can just feel the stickiness from any bit of beer that kind of remains on my lips. So it's very viscous, very high alcohol. The aftertaste is just magical though, because it's really chocolatey. I don't get a lot of coffee. You get the normal amount of coffee just from an Imperial Stout, but aside from that, I'm getting more of the, the chocolate and the vanilla. And wow, I would almost think this one was aged in barrels, but I have not read anywhere where it is. So really good beer. John, I can't thank you enough for throwing that one in the box, because this is a real winner for me. Almost get like a burnt raisin quality on there as well, just right at the end. And as it sits there too, I would say at the very end, and I mean the very end, after you've not taken a drink, there's a bit of smokiness that just kind of sits right on the outside of your mouth. And that's something that I really like. I think one of the things that I'm going to really start to try to review more of this year is smoked porters. Really kind of fascinated by the smoky quality of those. I don't get a lot of smokiness out of there, but like I said, at the very end, I really get kind of a smokiness. Overall, I'm really enjoying this beer. I'm going to go ahead and score this one, and based on the head, color, the style of the Imperial Stout style, man, I mean, I'd say maybe a 96, 97. I'll kind of commit to something here a little bit later once I've actually sat down and drank the whole thing, but it's up there for me. This is a really enjoyable beer. I think if the heat was subdued just a little bit more, this would probably be one of the better better types of Imperial Stouts that I've had. But anyway, well, I'm going to go ahead and sit here and wrap things up, but thanks a lot for coming back. Please make sure you go to my website, www.thehopry.com. Click on the Twitter link and follow me, and then that way I always update Twitter when I am about to post a new review, and then I also update it when I have posted a new review. And I post beer news just about every day, so keep coming back and seeing what's going on. Anyway, my name is Mark Starr. Thanks a lot for coming back. We'll see you.